Many of you struggle with your weight because so many people, it's like, I'm tired all the time. I don't have energy. I just have all these cravings. Oh, you sleep like shit. You spend 6 to 8 hours a day scrolling on social media, watching YouTube videos, being on TikTok. I wonder why you don't have time. I wonder why you have cravings. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan Podcast. Today, I am solo. We're going to do a little rant, kind of like open conversation, because Ivy was bringing things up to me and she was like, I need your answer on this. I need your answer on this because people are asking. And I was like, you know what? Let me just make a list of some of my thoughts on some of these points. I also wrote down things that kind of get me heated up a little bit. All right, welcome to the Fit Vegan Podcast. I'm your show host, Maxime, and I'm the founder and CEO of Fit Vegan Coaching, a company that is on a mission to help 10,000 people get lean, thrive, and reduce their risk of chronic illnesses by 2033 and 1 million by 2050. I believe that having a fit, healthy body and mind is the foundation to living an incredible life, and this is what the show will give you if you choose to listen and implement. Enjoy the episode and have a great day. So again, this is a very different podcast than some of the other episodes that we've done in the past before. So you guys let me know how you enjoy it. If you're listening on podcast audio, feel free to message me on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, let me know in the comment section below. So I just wrote down a few things that I kind of wanted to share my thoughts on and my opinion on. Not that anyone should care, but it's my podcast. So I'm going to go ahead for it. So first one was Ivy and I watched a little South Park video. Again, I'm not someone that watches cartoon. We were just on Netflix yesterday looking for something to watch because we were so tired from I think it was an hour and a half of basketball. We did our 10,000 steps. We filmed a full workout video for YouTube that is probably out by the time this podcast goes live, so that you guys can go and watch it on our YouTube channel and you can follow along to it. We recorded all of our sets, all of our reps, all of the rest, and kind of educating you throughout the process on the right form. And so we were totally pooped. So we're just looking for something to watch. And South Park had a video about how to end the obesity epidemic. And the whole bit was like a 45-minute bit about talking about Ozempic and how everyone was on this drug and how people were doing illegal things to try to get access of these drugs. Like they were like a drug addict. I thought it was super funny as hell. So again, I don't really watch cartoon, but I thought it was interesting, the framing of the whole bit. But I just want to give my little thoughts on Ozempic, because I think for a very small percentage of people, it can be useful, especially when it's used for what it's actually intended for, which is diabetes. I believe it was an original creation. But when it comes to weight loss, here's my issue with it. It's not about being skinny. It's not about being light. The goal is to be fit and healthy. And so being skinny and being light means nothing to me. And it means nothing in terms of long-term health, in terms of quality of life, in terms of energy, in terms of vitality. And so if the end goal is to be fit and be healthy, there's specific behavior and habits that you need to have to be able to have that outcome, but not only get the outcome, but sustain the outcome after. Because to me, what's the point of dropping 60 pounds if it's done in a really unsustainable way, using tools and strategies that you won't have access to for the rest of your life, potentially cost a ton of money, only for you to be 60 pounds light for a few months, and then you go back to being 60 pounds heavier and having to weight back on after? You just spend all of this effort and money into buying Ozempic and whatever drugs they are, into unsustainable methods or tools that you're using to lose the weight. But again, it's not about, I'll put it this way, my mind's all over the place. So our society is about quick success, but the thing is, people don't think about maintaining the success. How do you keep the success after? So everyone's after, I want to make money quick, I want to lose weight quick, I want to get this thing quick. But who cares about getting it quick? Because who cares if you have the thing that you want, but you only get to have it for a day, a week, or a few months, or even a year, right? The average age of people live up to is 75, 77 years old, which I think that's going to extend as more people eat whole food, plant-based, right? But what's the point of having an outcome for a year? Who cares? You want this stuff for the rest of your life. And so if you're going to take a drug like Ozempic because you're too, I use the word lazy because I can use the word lazy because you don't want to exercise, because you don't want to cook food, because you don't want to eat healthy. Well, guess what? Yes, you won't be hungry and you won't be eating all the food that you would normally eat, and you're going to start to lose some weight. And again, maybe it can start to lead you in the right direction. So I said, in certain cases, it might be helpful, But the end goal, even if you use it or you don't use it, is that you need to develop the habits necessary for you to be fit and healthy. Again, being skinny and light means jack shit. You need to be fit and healthy. And when I mean fit, you don't have to be like an Olympian, but you need to have a body that is not a limitation to you being able to live your life. You shouldn't struggle to put on your shoes. You shouldn't struggle to get off of the couch. You shouldn't struggle to go on a hike with your kids or your grandkids. Those are basic things that everyone should be able to do. So when I mean fit, I mean, again, not being an Olympian, just being able to live an active, healthy lifestyle. And you need those habits to do that. And if you're just taking a shortcut through something that's going to cut your hunger, guess what? You're not learning shit. You're just have the same brain and the same wiring and the same habits that led you to be in that position in the first place. And now you're rewarding yourself by taking a shortcut, which makes you feel good about yourself, and you get to lose all of the weight. And I've learned that some people pay $500, $600. I had someone we spoke to that wanted to join a program, is paying $700 a month. I had another person pay $1,200 a month. I guess it kind of depends on the insurance. The United States is messed up for that. I have my own story of my own because I'm from Canada and this stuff is free to go to healthcare. So people are spending between like $500 and $1,200 a month on this drug to not be hungry, to not do the work, to build lean muscle, to improve their body composition, and to lose fat. And so to me, if those people lose the weight and they get that quick reward, they get that dopamine hit of like, yeah, I'm doing the thing and I'm making progression, then their brain just kind of reinforces the path of shortcuts. And then when they put all the way back on because they can't take the drug anymore, they run out of money to take it or whatever it may be, and they're left in a place where they're worse off. Again, maybe they put 60 pounds back on exactly what they lost or worse off. Then their brain is not going to go look for a long-term solution. Their brain was rewarded for shortcuts, and then they want more shortcuts. They don't want to put the effort. But at the end of the day, anything worth it is super freaking challenging. I was going to swear, but I'm still going to do it. Is fucking hard, right? You want to be fit and healthy. It's fucking hard, right? And I rate my podcast as explicit. So if you're listening with a child, there was a heads up that I do swear at some of the podcasts. But it is hard. It is challenging. There's days where you wake up where you don't want to go and exercise. There's days where you're sore and you don't want to work out. There's days where you're tired, you're groggy, you have cravings. You don't want to make those healthy food decisions. You'd rather order vegan pizza from Uber Eats and eat the food that's in your fridge. Like, hey, I've been there. I'm there all the time too. People think that I'm motivated to work out all the time. I'm maybe 60% of the time I'm motivated to work out. The other 40%, I just do it because that's the thing that needs to happen for me to be the way that I want to be and be the person that I want to be in the world. And ultimately, I know that if I show up when I don't want to, on the days where I feel good, I feel phenomenal versus kind of just feeling okay because I missed some workout, if that makes sense. And so the shortcut is you're just delaying you doing the work, right? And so I think that's the main point I want to get across with this Ozempic thing is, do you want to be on this forever? Because it's pretty much your only solution. But people are starting to have, health issues with that. I'm not going to make like medical claims or anything like that, but I have heard people, having nutrient deficiency because no shit, you're not eating food. There's going to be some nutrient deficiency there. And I think most people aren't educated on how to eat nutrient dense foods when they're in that low of a calorie deficit. A lot of people are having metabolic issues because guess what? When you don't eat a ton of food and you don't resistance train, do any of these things, you lose a ton of lean muscle mass. There's a ton of lean muscle mass. Your metabolic rate goes down. Again, you have less lean muscle mass. You're more likely to get injured. Your body looks like saggy and skinny versus lean and toned. And so to me, there's nothing to it. There may be certain cases where, again, for its intended use, it's beautiful. And for certain cases where people are like morbidly overweight, that might be like a situation for that. But for the majority of people we work with, they want to lose, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 100 pounds. There's no need for that. Even we've had people that were over 100 pounds overweight. They still had the ability to kind of walk throughout the day. They still had the ability to sit on a chair and get back up. They still had the ability to kind of cook their own food. So you have to do the work. So any shortcut you take, you're just simply delaying you doing the real work that you need to do. And the more you delay the work that you need to do, the more challenging it becomes to do the work that you need to do. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of people listen to a ton of podcasts, read all the newest books, all the newest articles and whatever it may be, but never take some form of action in their life. And this is a common thread that I've noticed amongst people around me that are successful and the people that aren't successful in the areas that they want to improve. The ones that aren't successful are doing everything around under the sun besides the thing that they know that they should be doing. And the people that are successful have realized that they need to do the thing that they don't want to do to get the thing that they want, and that doing everything else around it is not going to do anything, right? It's basically procrastination. I used to be that kid when I was in school. I'd have a homework to do, and then I would just, I'd lay out my homework on my desk. I'd be like, my desk is messy. I need to organize my desk before I start working. So I organize all of my desk. And I was like, oh, my binder's messy. Okay, I need to clean out the pages, organize my pens by color, by sizes. I need to sharpen all my pens, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, an hour went by and I still didn't do the freaking homework. So ultimately doing the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that you need to do to get the outcome that you want, if that makes sense. Another thing, I was having a conversation with my Tony Robbins coach this morning. And, I'm making a lot of moves in terms of Fit Vegan. We're going to be one of the sponsors for the PCRM event. By the time this comes out, we're already have been at the National Health Association conference. Like, we have a lot of events and things that we're investing in to kind of have more impact with Fit Vegan. And it's scary because those are big financial commitments to kind of make those things happen. We'll be sponsoring some of your favorite podcasts that you listen to. So there's a lot of financial moves that I'm kind of doing so that we are able to hit our mission of helping 10,000 people by 2033 and 1 million by 2050. But it's scary to kind of make those moves because I could easily stay where I'm at and I'm very comfortable and we do really great and I wouldn't push from there. But I want to help more people. There's more people that need access to this process and this information and want the type of transformation that we're able to provide our clients. And so as I was talking to him about doing these things, he reminded me of a quote that I told him a long time ago. And I can't remember where I saw this quote, but it was basically that you are not allowed to complain that you're being tackled to the ground if you chose to play football. Basically meaning if you choose to play the game of football, it comes with it that you're going to get tackled to the ground. So you can't complain because you chose to play football. And so I chose to play the game of wanting to have as much impact as possible. And that comes at a cost. Stress, financial, there's a lot of things that kind of come with it. So it's basically like you can't complain. You can't let those things affect you because you chose to play this game. And so it made me think of fat loss and improving body composition, wanting to be healthier and wanting to be fitter. People complain all the time. Well, I don't want to eat this healthy food. I want to be able to eat whatever I want and lose weight, but I don't want to exercise and I don't want to cook and blah, blah, blah. If you choose to play the game of wanting to be fitter, of wanting to build lean muscle, of wanting to improve your body composition, of wanting to be healthier, there's shit that comes with that. There's, the equivalent for football. There's tackles that come with playing this game. It means that you're going to have to be more disciplined than if you weren't trying to do this. It means that you're going to have to eat food sometimes that you otherwise would rather eat a vegan pizza or a vegan ice cream or whatever your food is. It means you're going to have to go and exercise on times where you're a little bit sore or you don't feel like working out at all. It means you're still going to have to go and do it, right? There's going to be days where sometimes you're a little bit hungry, right? I'm doing a body recomposition phase, a little bit hungry right now. Is it the end of the world? No, there's nothing wrong with hunger, right? I'm going to have a big, beautiful Buddha bowl after this. But there's tackles that come with playing this game of wanting to be healthy and fit. And some people complain so much about it, they talk themselves out of doing it, but they don't understand that it's a part of the game. You can't play football without getting tackled. You can't play basketball with getting an elbow in the ribs or getting smacked in the face when you're grabbing a rebound, because that's what happened to me last week. So there's things that are involved with each game, which is the goal that you're going after. And you have to be okay with them and accept it I'm going to be hungry a little bit. I'm going to have to do workouts when I don't want to. I'm going to have to make different food choices. I'm going to have to be more disciplined with my time, more disciplined with my energy to get the thing that I want to. Because if you say you want the goal, but you're not willing to play the game, you'll never get the thing that you want. And playing the game comes with some risk, comes with some ups and some downs, and you have to be okay with all of it, right? So just a little thought for you. So I wrote another note here because for those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this, but I'm going to show you my phone screen. So one thing that I did is I simplified my phone screen where there's only, I think, 6 or 7 apps. It literally, there's no apps. Actually, it just says words, messages, fitness, nutrition, calendar, camera, notes, and music. There's no Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or anything like that on my phone because it was too big of a distraction. And again, I make a living out of being online and I don't have these things on my phone. I do have them on my iPad, which I leave at my house. So I'm not always scrolling and wasting a bunch of time on there. So I wrote that many of you struggle with your weight because you have shit habits outside of your nutrition that you aren't willing to fix. So what I mean by that is so many people, it's like, I'm tired all the time. I don't have energy. I just have all these cravings. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at your data. Oh, you sleep like shit. You spend 6 to 8 hours a day scrolling on social media, watching YouTube videos, being on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram. I wonder why you don't have time. I wonder why you have cravings, because guess what? If you're tired, your body's going to crave a higher and denser source of energy. Guess what has that? Sugary food, fatty foods. Your body's going to crave those energy dense things for survival reasons. It wants energy because you didn't give it through a good night of sleep. And so some of you would be able to stick to your nutrition, would be able to have the energy to exercise, but you just have shit habits outside of these two components. All right. You don't manage your time properly. You waste all of your time. You're very distracted. You don't get good nights of sleep, and you don't do things to keep you alive. So what I mean by that is doing things for you from time to time to fill your cup. So to me, that's playing basketball. So if I take that at least one time a week to go play some basketball, and for me, it's play rough and play hard, that fills my cup. All right. I can just let that testosterone out and I get to play and dunk on people and play basketball. So to me, that fills my cup. I didn't do that for a very long time. And I was wondering, I was like, I don't feel that great. Like, I eat well, I eat healthy, I sleep, I exercise, but there was something missing. And when I started doing something to kind of feed, not necessarily my soul to a certain extent, because I do that through helping cancer patients, but like feed another component of my soul, I was like, oh, this makes me feel good. And so you have to look at all these areas of your life. And if those start to fall and get aligned, you'll be surprised by how easy it becomes for you to eat healthier food, how easy it becomes for you to start exercising. You start to have more energy. You start to feel more confident in yourself. You start to show up differently. You start to taking different actions in your life. At least that's what I found to be true for myself and a lot of our clients, right? So another thing, I just did an incredible podcast with Karen from the Doc and Chef, the cooking show, and she had cancer, she battled cancer, and she overcame it. As you know, my history with my late partner, passing away from breast cancer. I always hear people tell me, like, I don't have time to cook food, I don't have time to eat healthy, I don't have time to exercise. I'm like, not even 20 minutes. Like, I don't even have 20 minutes. And again, I'm not even going to ask them to see their screen time on their phone or their iPad, or how much Netflix they watch or whatever it may be, or how much time they waste throughout the day. The question is, if you were to get diagnosed with cancer today and you had to prioritize your health and your fitness, would you find time to do those things? And ask yourself that question honestly. Because I asked that question to Karen. I was like, did you find time? I'm like, were you the type of person that complained you didn't have time? And did you find time after you got diagnosed? She's like, I was 100% the person that complained. And guess what? I did find time. And so a lot of people wait too late to freaking make the time to focus on the things that are going to prevent them from being in a position where they are forced to find time. So you either make time or you're forced to make time at a certain point in your life. And I know it's hard to convince someone that's never been sick or that's never had anyone super close to them pass away or suffer through it, but fuck, does it ever change your life when you get sick or you see someone that you love suffer and you can't do anything about it. It wakes the shit out of you. And so I just want to pass this message along, that it is selfish for you not to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, further down the road, the people that you love will be forced to take care of you, will be forced to see you suffer, and will be forced to suffer because they want to save you and they can't do anything for you because you didn't take care of yourself. I don't care if you have kids, grandkids, whatever it may be, whatever is the thing that is making you busy right now. I promise you that if you get sick one day, you will feel so bad that the people you love have to take care of you. You don't want to be a burden to them. You don't want to hinder their life. You don't want to become an obstacle. You don't want to take their time. So it is selfish for you not to take care of you. And it is selfless for you to take care of you, because further down the road, you're reducing the risk of them having to be in that position. So for the love of God, take care of yourself, because it's not just for now, not just about losing 20 pounds, about fitting in a bikini or bathing suit and being on the on the beach. Shit, it's for you in 40 years from now, 30 years, 6 years from now, depending how old you are, where you're not in that position where the people you love have to take care of you, where you may end up passing away before your partner, and your partner has to live alone in this world without you. So please take care of yourself. Like, this is so close to my heart, because I mentioned I lost my partner to breast cancer when I was 27 years old. And I'm recording this podcast the day before my birthday. I'm turning 31 tomorrow. So 4 years ago, over almost 4 years ago, I lost my late partner to breast cancer. And it is the worst thing I've ever gone through, but it's the best thing I've ever gone through, because it made me realize so much at such an early age. And a lot of the people that have a partner won't experience what I've experienced until they're, people, it's starting to become a little younger now, but until their 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, when you lose a partner that you're going to spend your life with. And so for the love of God, please wake up and take care of yourself. You taking 20 minutes to exercise 3 times a week will make a huge difference. You just focusing on eating more whole food, plant-based meals is going to make a huge difference in your health, right? Oh, this makes me so upset. When people tell me they don't have time, shit. I wish I had the superpower to make people get the cancer diagnosis without getting the cancer diagnosis, because I obviously don't want anyone to suffer, but I just want to be able to give that experience to people where they get slapped in the face with life, just to tell them to wake up and for them to understand how important their health actually is. Whew. All right. I hope you guys can see how passionate I am about this. That's the reason I donate to cancer patients every single month. There's so much that I do that's not a public thing, and I'm not going to say, because I'm happy to do it privately, but please take care of yourself. All right. So another note that I have here, you need to better manage your time, right? And I can understand. So to me, it's very interesting. I've grown with, I think I was like midway through high school when kind of social media started to kind of come out, and when it was on Facebook and and Instagram came out later. And I've just seen this trend for myself of like, I'm getting sick of being on the phone looking at Instagram or Facebook or any of these things. And I've been doing YouTube videos of like how to lower screen time, how to remove distraction, because I'm realizing one of the keys to success is focus and removing distraction, right? It's not about being focused, but it's about removing distractions. And I realized I was spending a ton of time on my phone. So I was like, how can I simplify my phone? Well, I need to delete all of the apps that are distracting, right? But I still need to keep it functional, because I do travel a lot. So I need my camera to scan QR codes. I need my email to, show my pass for the airport and stuff like that. And so I just turned off all notifications from my phone. The only thing that is on my phone is for my favorites, like my wife, my brothers, my parents, if they call me. That's pretty much it. But there's no notifications on my phone. I downloaded this app that makes, again, I can't remember the name of this app is, but it keeps my phone really simple. So literally there's 7 things on here, and they're all words, and it says music notes, and then the button for a call, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing else on my phone. So spending less time on your phone is a huge time saver, and that's how you're going to get a lot of your time back. Again, you can look at your screen time consumption, whether you have an Android or an Apple product. You can see your screen time, see how much time you spend on this. And if it's low, look at your iPad, look at your computer. If you're working, it's different, but outside of working hours, see how much time you spend on that. And I promise you, genuinely, you'll probably for sure be able to get a couple hours back. And if you don't make your living out of being on social media, you should not be spending that much time on social media. I've said this multiple times before, but and then Ivy tells this to me all the time. She tells me I'm 80 years old inside, right? I'm getting older now, so I'm finally catching up to my internal age, apparently. But Ivy's always told me I have an old soul. I would live in a cabin in the woods without a phone. I would have a landline, and that's how I would live my life if I wasn't on social media. But, God has put in my heart to be on this big mission. And those are the tools that I have to use to spread that mission and the purpose that I'm on. And so I'm using these tools because they'll allow me to impact. Some of you guys, I see the stats for the podcast. Some of you guys are in Australia, in Italy, in Greece, in the UK, from in Mexico, from all over the world. I wouldn't be able to reach you if it wasn't for these tools. And so I've set myself up to use these tools in an efficient manner, without it taking over my life. And that's why I do a 7-day digital detox every 2 months, right? By the time this comes out, I'll have been back from my digital detox, but I'm going to New York with my wife for 7 days. No phones. Navigation, I'm going to figure it out, right? So no social media, no nothing like that. And I do that every 2 months. And this is going to be the fourth one this year. Yeah, it's going to be my fourth one this year. I have 2 more to go. Next one's going to be my honeymoon. And then going back to Canada to see my family for my little brother's wedding. So very excited for that. But yeah, spend less time on your phone. You're going to get a lot of time back. Now, stop going for quick fixes. Another note that I wrote here. People, you'll always see these things online like, oh, lose 20 pounds in 90 days and do all that stuff. And hey, I was there when I first started because y'all have to start somewhere. But I'm honestly just genuinely getting annoyed with the fitness industry. And that's why we do longer transformations for our client, because to me, I don't care if you lose the weight. I care if you keep the weight off, which is why we do the fat loss. And then we do the reverse dieting to help you speed up your metabolism after, because if you don't do that, the weight's going to come back on. So to me, I don't care if you want to lose weight. I care about you helping you lose the weight and actually keeping it off after. The goal is that you don't put it back on and I don't have to see you again. Again, I love every single one of our clients and they know that. they hear me on the group calls, but I feel like I failed myself if you come back all the time because you put weight back on, right? I understand that life happens. We had clients that they had kids, so obviously they put on weight from having a kid. They came back to kind of lose the weight. Some people got a medical diagnosis. I get that. But if it was just out of pure, like stopping working out and starting to eat shit food after having been in a program, then I feel we didn't teach them properly. And so I care more about lose the weight and keeping it off after. The goal is not to be 40 pounds lighter for 3 months. The goal is to be 40 pounds lighter for a lifetime. And hopefully this transformation with us becomes a stepping stone to new fitness goals, right? You know what? I want to put on a little bit more lean muscle. I want to do a 5 kilometer. I want to do a triathlon, whatever your thing is. But I want it to be your new baseline for how you live your life, and not the kind of like the football jock story. It was like, oh, back in the day I was cool in high school, right? Back in the day I used to be 40 pounds lighter. What happened? Now is your time to be 40 pounds lighter. And age is just a number. I get it. I'm 31, but we've transformed over 750 plus people, and the majority of our clients are between 45 and 80 years old. And so don't look at my physique for transformation. Look at the physiques of the transformations of our clients. If you don't believe me, you can go on my YouTube channel. You can listen to Fit Vegan Success Stories. You'll hear a bunch of our clients between the age of 45 and 80 telling you exactly why they've got an amazing transformation. You can go on our website, fitvegancoaching.com, go to client success story, go on it, and they're all listed right there. You can go listen to all of them. I did a 40 plus minute podcast with them about their specific journey, their transformation. And all of them are normal people like you and I. They don't have superpowers. They have kids. They're busy. Some of them are retired. Some of them are single parents. So at the end of the day, it's not about, it's not about superpowers or whatever. Maybe those people just chose to commit to themselves and put their excuses aside and take action and show up consistently. They understood that it wasn't about perfection, but it was about progression. And so stop going for a quick fix. It's not going to take you 4 months or 90 days to solve all of your weight problems that you've had for a lifetime. You have had shit habits for a lifetime. It's not going to take you a lifetime to undo them, but it'll take you longer than 4 months. It might take you 8 months. It might take you a year. It might take you a year and a half. But who cares? Because if you get to lose the 40 pounds and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, let's just say there's another 40, 50, or 60 years to the rest of your life, how amazing is that quality of life going to be for you? Stop thinking short term of right now. Start thinking about the future. And I know the future, it's hard to kind of create pain for the future to be like, well, I don't know if I continue this way, I might get lucky, right? I don't know for you, but that's not how I want to live my life, right? I want to base my life off like, well, I'm getting by with it right now, so maybe it won't affect me in 40 years from now. It for sure will, 100%, right? So actually, one thing I wrote this down because I didn't want to just complain and rant for all this time, but I wanted to give you something that's really been helpful for me. And I learned this from Joe Rogan, probably the most anti-vegan person there is. But he does have some good points sometimes. And one of them was pretend like you're the superhero of your own movie and you are in your current position. So again, whether you're your body composition is 5 pounds off, right? I hear people complain about people that complain about only having 5 pounds to 10 pounds. I have 10 pounds to lose. And people are like, oh, you're fine. You look great. Listen, you set your own standards, right? I have my own standards for health and fitness, and I don't care what everyone else says about them. I have my own for myself. I choose my life on my own standards and how I want to live them. And I'll never let anyone else set my own standards. And so you do the same for you. If you say like, hey, I want to put a little bit more lean muscle, I want to be stronger, I want to be faster, shit, go for it. Makes you happy, go for it. All right. So don't let anyone else set the standards for you. So pretend you're in the position that you're in. There's potentially areas of your life that you would want to improve. Again, it could be your relationship with your partner. It could be getting a partner. It could be your finances. It can be your business, your career. It could be your health. It can be your body. It can be your fitness. It can be a relationship with your kids, whatever it may be. There's all the areas that you want to improve. If you were a superhero in a movie in your position, what would you do to improve those areas? What are the actions you would take? What is the help that you would go and get? Would it be buying a book, buying a course, getting a coach? Would it be having a conversation with someone, sending an email, a phone call, signing up for a gym membership, whatever it may be? What is the action that you would take to improve every single one of those areas? Now go and do those actions and do them now, because, hey, if you're listening to this, probably a little bit older than I am, because I see the stats on the podcast, you know as much as me as if you get inspired to do something and you're like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it in the future. That excitement kind of fades away and you don't take any form of action on it. But you also know that every ounce of success that you currently have in your life was because you took action when it wasn't convenient and you continued to do it, right? So whatever those actions are that your superhero would do, take those actions. Buy the gym membership, go grocery shopping, buy your containers, buy the book, buy the course, buy whatever it may be, but take some form of action. And I've had someone tell me this about this specific comment, because it's not the first time I share this. Like, I don't pay for gym membership. I've been paying for it for 3 years and I still haven't gone. I'm like, great, go to Equinox and sign up for a gym membership at Equinox. It's, I don't know, the one here is $180 a month. Ivy and I used to train there before. We stopped because there's no basketball court and I want a basketball court. Go to sign up for Equinox for a gym membership, $180 a month. Do you think you're going to show up? Do you think it's going to be painful enough for you to go to spend $108 a month and not use it? Shit, I bet you're going to go sit your butt on that bike and watch a movie at the gym for $180. It's stupid expensive. Another reason why I left, because it was too much money. But again, if you have a cheap gym membership and you don't go, well, it's not painful enough. You just sign up for a more expensive gym. There's going to be an amount of money that you're going to be wasting on this. You'll be like, damn, hey, at this cost, I'm going to go jump on the bike and watch Netflix on my phone. Hey, but at least you're at the gym. You're doing some exercise, right? The thing is, there's no consequences to you not taking action. So people don't take action. There has to be consequences to it. And so to me, I like to set little bets like that for myself. I'll pay for something that's really expensive. I'm like, well, I have to use it because I paid for it. Or I'll make a deal with someone. If I don't do something, I got to donate to a certain organization that I don't like, that I don't support, right? And so there was like a meat organization. I can't remember what it was, but I had a list of tasks that I really need to get done. So I did a bet with my friend. I was like, hey, if I don't do this thing, all of these tasks, I'm going to donate money to this organization that's for like the meat industry, basically against veganism. And guess what? Because I did not want to have my name on that registry and I did not want to support it, I got all my actions done one day before my cutoff. Like, I got all of them done. And there was a lot of things on that list. And so you have to put consequences to your stuff, whether it's $20, right? Like, if I tell you to do a bet with your friend or your husband or whatever it may be, and you say like, hey, if I don't do this, I'll give you $5. If your brain goes like, well, I don't care, just give them $5. $5 is not enough. Go to 10, right? If $10 is not enough, like, keep going up. Eventually the amount will be like, I don't know if I want to give them that much money. I think I'm better doing off the task. So the thing is, there's no consequences, and you guys have to build those little systems for yourself, right? Because a lot of the people that we work with, usually they're the only partner that is plant-based. They live in a town where they might be one of the only person or few people that are actually interested in whole food plant-based, because there's veganism and there's whole food plant-based, which is a different community. And so a lot of times you're just alone in that community. There's no pressure for you to do it or not do it. And so you have to build these little systems for yourself to kind of succeed, right? Like, one thing I shared, my wife and I started making weekly vlog videos on YouTube. And so you guys want to go watch that out. We're at like episode whatever, 6 or 7 at this point. But I did a push-up and chin-up challenge for myself, but that by October, the goal is to be able to do 100 push-ups in a row and 50 pull-ups in a row. And so the system I created for myself is I bought a pull-up tower for my house so that I could wake up, bang out pull-ups. I'm walking to the kitchen to grab some food, do a few pull-ups, right? And then that way I do so many more pull-ups than if I don't have the pull-up bar here, than if I just go to the gym, which you go like 4 to 5 times a week. So I'm not doing it every day. But because it's there, I'll do a few throughout the day and it kind of adds up over time. And right now I'm like a month in, I'm able to do so many more pull-ups than when I first started and so many more push-ups. So I kind of bang those out. So just putting a little system that makes it easy for you to kind of do these things, right? So just, what would the superhero of your journey and story would do in terms of action, and then do those things, all right? Because, what's the worst thing that can happen if you take those actions? You start eating healthy food. You start eating more plant-based. You start exercising. Oh my God, we don't want to have that happen, right? So yeah, and again, I'm saying this, it sounds harsh, and it might be, but I didn't get anywhere in my life. I wasn't able, I wouldn't have been able to live through being a caregiver, through the death of a partner, through, being fitter and kind of the things that I've gone through in my life, if I wasn't that way. So there needs to be a certain level of intensity to your life, but I'm also able to be on the flip side and have some moments of compassion, which I need to have for myself as well. And so sometimes hey, no, I'm just really tired and exhausted and I can't do it, and it's okay to rest. But I've gotten good at calling myself out when I'm being lazy and when I actually need to have compassion for myself. So yeah, I just you need to have that moment where you're able to call yourself out. Are you just being lazy, or do you need to have true compassion towards yourself? Because right now things are really hard. And I get it. When I was in the midst of, being a caregiver, I had a full-time job, I was driving to cancer treatments. A lot of the things that I'm doing now, I wasn't able to do because I didn't have the mental or time capacity to do it. I was not wasting time on my phone. I was driving around to cancer treatments, working because those cancer treatments were expensive. I was being a caregiver. I was doing a lot of things. Mind you, I was able to train for half Ironman throughout that time as well. So it just comes down to you making the time at the end of the day. And I know I'm saying this from someone that does not have kids. I don't know what it's like to have kids. I'm not going to compare it to caregiving, because in a way your kid's life it's not dying and sick, right? I had someone that their life was on the line pretty much every day. Sometimes I had to rush to the hospital, wake up in the middle of the nights to screams. Again, it's not a baby crying, it's just hungry. You had someone physically in pain that we have to rush to the hospital. So I don't want to say it's the same, because it's not, but I feel like it's pretty freaking comparable in terms of time obligation, and stress would be different, again, because baby's not dying. But again, it might be different when I have a parent. That's why I love making content online, because I'll be able to look back at my videos and be like, wow, I really said some stupid stuff, or what I said really made sense. And sometimes I go back to my videos from 10 years ago and I was like, oh man, that was stupid. And a lot of times I go back, I'm like, I was really smart. I said those things 10 years ago on YouTube. So just say, we've worked with a lot of parents. We've worked with single parents that have full-time jobs, that have 2 kids. They're still able to get their transformation done. And so at the end of the day, there's always that option for you to make it work. We've had people do workouts, and between their rest, between their sets, they cook dinner, feed a child, fold some laundry, do their other set, fold some laundry, do their set, cook the dinner. And so there's always a way to make it work. But at the end of the day, I understand that it's more challenging at the beginning, because it's not built in the identity of who you are, right? So to me, for me to not to go to the gym, it would take a lot. If you watch my vlog 4 on YouTube, I injured my ankle playing some basketball. Guess what I did the next day? I did an upper body workout at my house without using my left foot, right? Had it up in the air, did push-ups and pull-ups and dips and a bunch of stuff. I still did my workout. I just didn't use my leg that I had injured my ankle on. And so you have to build into your identity, and that takes time. So have compassion for yourself in the fact that it takes time to build that into your identity. Understand that you chose to play this game, and that there are things that come with it. Like I said, you can't complain that you get tackled to the ground when you chose to play football willingly. So if you choose to take on this journey, know that you will get the equivalent of a tackle, that, it's going to be challenging. But at the end of the day, just focus on two things: progression over perfection and consistency compound. If you just do those two things, you'll have a beautiful, incredible journey. Be kind to yourself with the timeline for your transformation. Like I said, if you've been overweight all your life, you struggle with your weight all your life, it's not going to get solved in 4 months, potentially not going to get solved in 8 months. In a year, you might start to have those really solid, healthy habits to kind of propel you in a new direction in your life. But you have years of conditioning that you have to undo. So be kind with yourself in that process, but also be stern with yourself in your actions, because potentially you don't have anyone holding you accountable. And to a certain extent, no one can really hold you accountable to the extent that you can. So you have to respect yourself enough to hold yourself accountable to do these actions if they are important to you. And this is just my opinion, but I think it is selfish for you not to take care of yourself, because if you don't, someone else that you love in the future will be forced to take care of you. And I take care of myself because I want to feel good, but also because I don't want my wife to have to take care of me down the road, because I saw what it was like to have to take care of someone you care about. And the stress of not being able to save the person that you love destroys a person. And I don't want to put my wife in that position. And so, again, don't be selfish, be selfless, work out, prioritize your nutrition, eat healthy, live an active lifestyle, get a healthier body weight. All right. And again, I'll just say this quickly. If you want to work with us, this is what we do. We're the best at it. There's a link down below for you to book your free call. The video's there. You can watch it. Gives you an understanding of how it works. If not, take on your own journey. I just want people to get started in the right direction. So that's the end of my little rant. That was a good 40 minutes of me ranting. I didn't think it would be that long, but hey, if you enjoy these types of episodes, I do take a lot of notes on my phone when thoughts kind of come up, but it's something that's been on my heart for a long time. And it's just, people need to wake up. And the thing is, a lot of you that are listening to this podcast are inside of our coaching program or are already taking some form of action. So if you're already that person, beautiful. I applaud you. You're in the right direction. Send this to someone that needs to hear this at the end of the day, because the ones that are usually watching these resources and listening to these resources are usually the ones that are already doing something or willing to do something. And so send it to someone that, or tag them down below, that would benefit from this podcast. All right. So I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you for listening to this episode. Again, I'm curious to listen to it in 10 years from now and see if it sounds silly or if it makes sense, but that's life. We're always learning. One big thing is I'm always taking action and then pivoting from there. And so this podcast will either be beautiful and well received, or it will bomb. And if it bombed, then I know that we can't make episodes like this anymore, right? If it's well received, then we will do more. But you cannot know until you try, right? That's the beauty of taking imperfect action. And so hope you guys have an incredible day. Thank you for listening to the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because over 60% of you that are watching the videos aren't subscribed to the channel, and it really helps the channel grow. Again, podcast is just this interesting tool that the more subscribers and more downloads we have, the more I can grab these and go to bigger guests and be like, hey, you should come on our show. And then for them, like, oh, this is worth my time for me to jump on a show. Yes, I will be a guest. And that allows us to get bigger guests. So when you subscribe, like, and you comment, it helps me have better numbers to get bigger guests on the show to bring better interviews for you guys. All right. So thank you very much for listening, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.